Foundation, and FPA-Foundation stands for Fostering Progressive Advocacy. We are an activist advocacy organization, and what we do is we service the 5 boroughs. We make sure that people affected by the child welfare system, that their voices are heard. So today we're out here bringing awareness about corruption in the child welfare system and how ACS and the contracted foster care agencies are affecting our children and families. So today we're going to bring some awareness about some of the issues that some of the parents are having, the foster parents are having, youth in foster care who are aging out of the system into homelessness. We need the community to get involved with this situation because this issue has fell on deaf ears. So we would like you to come to our table and get some information. And if you could contact the Public Advocate's Office and write a complaint letter, contact your mayor, because a lot of youth in foster care are still being abused by a system that claims to protect. If you look up foster care and you do the research, you will see that foster care is a failed system. It does not support our children and families. And the people that are affected by this system, they can definitely share their experience. All of these injustices have been swept under the rug, and we want to hold Mayor de Blasio accountable. We want to hold our new commissioner, Gladys Carrion, accountable, and also the public advocate, because we no longer could let these things happen to our children and families. So I'm going to have John Lance. He is a foster parent, and he's going to come to the mic and he's going to share his experience about how false allegations can affect your life. Come on, Mr. Lance.
Hello, my name is John Lance. I'm a foster parent, adoptive parent. Been taking care of children for the last 12 years. Had over 30 children. I've been taking families of 4 and 5 at a time by myself. And I'm a victim of false allegations. I adopted a little boy, 12, 13 years old, and he stayed in touch with his biological family. His family told him to make false allegations against me, and it wasn't founded. It wasn't founded. The assault wasn't founded. So what the ACS worker did, she asked him questions about me. Now at this time he's 15 years old. Being that the assault was not founded, he told the ACS worker that I didn't like him because he was gay, which is a complete false allegation. I was very hurt about it. Very hurt about it, but in addition to that, when she filed her paperwork, she didn't only put down about me discriminating basically about LGBT, but she put down that I didn't have no food, I be beating kids up, I'm not taking care of the kids' medical attention. So she wrote down a book worth of stuff that wasn't true. She didn't do no real investigation. She didn't contact the foster care agency that I'm affiliated with. Next thing, I'm getting charges. None of them were true. She didn't speak to nobody. And I had to suffer behind that. Took me 9 to 10 months to fight that case. I just won the case last month. But it was hard. It was hard on me. So be aware what can happen to you. They will file false allegations, and just because you're a man and you're doing a woman's job and you're good at it, they can file false allegations against you and get your children taken away, and don't follow policy and procedure about how they do it. That's all I have to say right now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Angelica Garcia. I'm a parent, biological parent. My story begins in 2008. I was going through a lot. I had 4 children. They were small in ages. My mom was ill. I was going through a lot at the time, and my mom had a visiting nurse coming over to make visits, and she told her supervisor that I was leaving my children with my mom. My mom was not as ill as she was making it sound. Besides, I had someone else coming to help in the home with the children and myself and my mom, and that was the foster mother's mother. Her name is Rosa Sanchez, and the supervisor called me one evening and said, you're leaving the children with your mother alone, and she started accusing me. And I said, I don't really know you, I don't know who you are, but I'm not going to sit and argue with you. I'm on a prepaid phone, I can't talk very long, so I hung up. 3 hours later, ACS was knocking at my door, and when they came in, they checked the children, they saw there was nothing wrong with them. So they came over and they said, okay, we're going to have somebody come over the next following day to see you. I said, okay. So these two workers came in, and I was dealing with court for the apartment. I was dealing with HPD. I was dealing with the children, taking them to appointments. I had welfare appointments. I had my mom ill in the home. I had visiting nurse coming over. So I had a lot on my plate. So they offered services, so I never had an ACS case. I have a 25-year-old now, and never did I even know what ACS was till they came into my life. Once they came in, they offered services. I thought it was going to help my family. Well, being that the apartment was under court and everything, HPD came over and said that there was lead in the apartment and that we needed to get the apartment fixed. So I had to leave the apartment. They made me go to a shelter, ACS. I went to the shelter. It was terrible. There was fights breaking out and everything. There was no way to stay in that situation. So I went to my friend's house. When I went to my friend's house, the next day I spoke to the worker, which she was supposed to call me, and she never did, so I called her. And she said, you have to come to the office because they're going to take the children. I said, what? I said, I can't make it to the office. Come and get me. She said, I can't. So I said, you know what, then we have a problem because I cannot go out with 4 small children. 2 of them walked and 2 didn't. So then I said, oh my goodness, you have me so frustrated. And then I said, I felt like killing myself. When I said that, she sent the cops, they surrounded me, they took the children, threw me in a mental institution. Then the children were sent to Coney Island. When I went to see them in the foster agency, they looked terrible. They stole all the clothes they had on. They were starving, they were sick. It was dirty, they were all messed up, so they had to do an emergency removal. Then they gave them to me, then they took them back, made me put them in respite. My daughter got hospitalized, 3 nights in the hospital in St. Vincent, and then I allowed those two women, the foster mom and her mother, to come into my life. I barely knew these women. Now, 6 years later, they gave me the 2 older children. The other 2, they're giving up for adoption. They put me through a storm. My mom had a multiple stroke. My mom, they said that she would harm the children. She fell in depression, had a multiple stroke. She passed away April. So my story is that, and also when they took the boys this time, they came and did illegal actions. They didn't have no warrant. They didn't do any 10 days notice. They have put me through a storm, and now they expect me to do everything that I've done already, all over again. And I've worked very hard with the boys. The boys were very traumatized when they came back. They were throwing themselves on the floor. I had ACS be called 7 times because of their behaviors. They were so traumatized, and now that they were getting better, they took them again. And the worker lied. She lied and said that the house was messed up. It wasn't. She used old pictures to make them seem as it was that day. I showed her a paper that said that I was in the appointment from 10 to 2 o'clock that same day. So ACS is basically lying and making up stories just to take children all over again, put them through the system, make parents go through other things. Now with the 2 younger children, I haven't seen them since 2011 of August. And the younger 2, in care with the woman that I put, they were burned. One of them was burned, and the other one was hit by her. She admitted it, my daughter admitted in the visit, and still they let my children stay in that house. And the foster mother has 2 brothers. One is schizophrenic, one is a heroin addict. So they take my children from me, and every time they take them, they give them to me either traumatized, or they get sick, or they get hurt. So I am here advocating for my children and letting parents know what's going on in the system and the illegal actions actions they're doing, and then they're totally ruining people's reputation as parents and people, where you cannot get a normal job because now they're looking at you as negligent. And I have a 25-year-old. I've never had an ACS case. I never knew what that was. So I'm here advocating for the children and also letting parents know to be careful and always be alert about letting ACS come into your life, because they come in as they're going to come to help you. But they left me with $15,000 in arrears. I nearly lost my home after 38 years. I lost my son's puppy, which was given to me by my older son, for my son Louis, for his birthday. And they made us pay for the puppy, and we still ended up losing the dog. So I'm just really advocating and telling you guys to be careful, allowing them in, because they make it seem like they're coming to help, and next thing you know, your whole life is upside down. And that's what's going on with me right now. Like, I had those boys since 2009, and now the whole process to do it all over again. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tamika Willis. I have been a foster parent for 2 years. I've had a total of 3 children in my home. I had signed up with Grand Wyndham to become a foster parent, and one of the children that was in my home basically had behavior issues and messed up the furniture in my apartment. And I had contacted the supervisor, and I had explained to her that they needed to reimburse me for my furniture, what the child had stabbed up with pencils. And they called me and said that they wanted to have a meeting with me at the agency pertaining to just going over some things about, you know, if I need anything in place for the kids. And I said, sure. When I got to the agency, we didn't have a meeting about anything that I needed. They basically set me up in a meeting and was saying that they wanted to come into my home and to go into my bedroom and look through my personal things and my drawers and my closet. And I said, what are you looking for? And so they wouldn't explain to me what they were looking for. They know that I was a good foster parent to my children. So when I fought back and I didn't allow them to do certain things to violate the rights of my home, that's when the trouble